Hello everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Routine the Kitchen. Thank you so much for being here. Today you will cook lunch with me and I'll be steaming some cabbage and making pilau. The first thing I did was to boil my meat. The meat I used to cook pilau, then warmed my cooking oil, vegetable oil, before adding my prepared onions to the hot oil. But I didn't wait for my oil to be so hot. I just waited for it to be a bit warm. After your oil is ready, you add some onions. You should have enough onions and you should wait for your onions to brown. Make sure you cook your onions well. You should not overcook them until they are black for good results. So just cook the onions until they are golden brown, good brown. And as your onions cook, you should keep stirring them to avoid them burning. You can cook them on medium heat or on high heat, but not on low heat. You need more heat so that they can cook faster in 5 minutes to 10 minutes. And after the onions are ready, the next thing you do is to add your spices before adding your meat. Also, thank you so much for clicking on this video. And sorry, I haven't been uploading for some time now. Now I'll make an effort and upload as frequently as I can. So the next thing you do after the onions are this brown, you just add your spices. I used dark soy sauce. Though they are messed up, I shouldn't have started with adding soy sauce. So for you, make sure you add soy sauce as the last spice. And the next thing I added after soy sauce was pilau masala. That was the pilau masala I used. Add just enough for the quantity of rice you have. For me, I used 5 cups of rice, 90 ml cups of rice. The next thing I added after pilau masala was paprika, smoked paprika. Add the same amount of, like the paprika amount should be the same amount as the pilau masala amount. If you add 1 tablespoon of pilau masala, add 1 tablespoon of paprika. The next thing I did was to add ginger powder. You can add garlic paste and ginger paste, but for me, I preferred using ginger powder and garlic powder instead of mashing the fresh garlic and fresh ginger. You can also use the powders and use the mashed garlic and ginger. The next thing I did was this spice danajera powder. You can add a bit of it to your rice, but if you're cooking like meat stew, you don't have to add this spice here. You can add to your meat stew. But since you are taking the pilau with rice, with guacamole and cabbage, I decided to add. So the next thing I added was coriander and some garam masala. Also for garam masala, if I was making some meat stew on the side, I could have added the garam masala to the meat stew instead of to my pilau. So in case you are cooking meat stew on the side, you don't have to add danajera and garam masala. You can add those to your meat stew. The next thing I did was add some Royco mchuzi mix to replace Royco cubes. I wanted to use Royco cubes for my cabbage. That's why I decided to use Royco mchuzi mix here. Stir your onions. Here my onions overcooked a bit as I was adding spices, since I had to show you the spices. But if I wasn't recording, they couldn't have gotten to this extent, because I could just be adding faster to avoid them burning. The next thing you do is to add the boiled meat for it to cook a bit before you add your water. You just stir the meat and the onions together before you cover. Make sure you stir well before you cover for the meat to cook a bit. If you just add meat then add water, your pilau will be so plain. But if you wait for the meat to cook a bit, it will be even better. So don't make that mistake. You just need to add your meat to your onions and spices and vegetable oil, then cover and wait for about 5 to 10 minutes before you add your water. After the meat is cooked a bit, add your water. For me, I used 5 cups of rice. So for my water, I used my beef stock, the water that I boiled with meat. I used 10 cups of water for 5 cups of rice. Your beef stock, you can use it to cook the pilau and top up with some fresh water if the beef stock is not enough. After you add your water, you just cover and wait for it to boil, for the water to boil before you add your washed rice. By this time you should have washed your rice. I forgot to add some salt, so I had to add some salt before covering the spharia. I was saying make sure your rice is washed so that it can dry before the water boils. By this time, all you can see is smoke. My water was boiling. So the next thing was to add the rice. You can see some vapor. Sorry, it's not vapor. Not. I'm sorry about that. You can see some vapor. For me, I was making pilau with potatoes. You can choose not to add. I actually wanted to add some peas, but since I had some potatoes, I had to prepare smashed. I decided to add some here instead of peas. Next time I will try with peas. So you can choose either to add potatoes, or peas. Go with what you wish. Or you can choose even not to. You don't have to if you don't want. After adding the rice, I decided to steam my cabbages so that the steamed cabbage could be ready before the pilau got ready. All I did for my cabbage was add some grated carrots and some onions. I don't do much. And I don't love the onions overcooking or the carrots, so I just add everything together. I just add the cooking oil, then add the mixture of cabbage, carrots, and onions. And also I added some salt and some Royco cubes to the cabbage to make them taste good. Also, before you continue, if you have not subscribed, kindly make sure you subscribe. Right now I'm at 600 subscribers. Please get me to 1K subscribers and I will greatly appreciate. And thank you to everyone who has subscribed. I added some salt and also added some Royco cubes. Again, thank you to everyone who has subscribed. Tell a friend to subscribe and watch my videos, and I hope you get to learn something. I added some I added 2 Rico cubes for this amount of cabbages. I just crushed the Rico cubes into powder form and added the Rico cubes to the cabbage. After this, I just covered and waited for them to cook a bit before stirring. On the side, I was making some guacamole, so I had already prepared my onions, tomatoes. All I needed to do was add some avo. Here are my ready cabbages and my ready guacamole. For guacamole, I did onions, tomatoes, and avo, and some drops of lemon juice. Here's the ready food. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, and comment down below if you love it. Thank you so much for cooking lunch with me. Bye bye.